Hey everybody, my name's Mark. Welcome to Mile High Church. Thanks for being with us this weekend, especially if you're new. Our Prayer and Care Center offers healing classes and workshops, along with individual support for anyone working through periods of deep loss. The morning after, grieving loss of a loved one, an 8-week class for those who have experienced a loss through physical death and are ready to begin to reinvest in life. Animal Blessing. Celebrate 22 years of unconditional love with a joyful pet parade, music, prizes, and a touching memorial for cherished animals. Beyond Divorce. An empowering 8-week class for those who are adjusting to the end of an intimate relationship. Pet Loss Support. A 1-day workshop to embrace and honor the loss of our animal and experience care and support as we open to a greater understanding of the grief process. Navigating the holidays after loss. A mini workshop facilitated by Dr. Patty Lukenbach that combines process and ritual in supporting participants in moving through the holiday season following any significant loss.
Welcome to Conversations with a Stranger. Imagine new ways of being with each other so that together we can build the world we want to see. How do we love in a time of rage? How do we fix a broken world without breaking ourselves? What do you see in the stranger sitting across from you? So take a seat, share a moment, and see what unfolds when you begin a conversation with a stranger. Explore further at See No Stranger with Valerie Kaur at Mile High Church on October 3rd. Get your tickets at milehighchurch.org.
And our Adventure in Faith series starts next Sunday for the month of October. The theme is This Moment, so kick it off with us. Discover how being fully present empowers growth, strength, and a spirit-empowered life. For more information about anything you've heard today, stop by the event center or connect with us online at milehighchurch.org.
Together Charles Holt is back with us today, sharing his music all the way from New York. And what a blessed day it is here at Mile High. We have Dr. Roger bringing a spectacular message for us. Oh, we are so blessed to be able to gather together today in this glorious sanctuary of love. And so, as we do each week, we like to anchor with our vision and our mission and to really take it in and feel it within, as that is what we are gathered together in the symbolism, in the vibration, in the essence of this vision and mission. So let's recite it together. Our vision: oneness revealed, a world of love, peace, and abundance for all. And our mission: to serve as a spiritual beacon for personal empowerment and global enlightenment. And just gather that energy right in your heart this morning as you are in for a tapestry of love. One of my favorite writings from Dr. Ernest Holmes is when he opens with, "I dwell in a house of love." And so together, we are going to dwell in a house of love. And we're going to begin with song and with "In the Stillness," and that will be followed with a beautiful prayer from Reverend Jackie.
Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. Surely the presence of God is in this place. I can feel the mighty power and the grace. I can hear the brush of angel wings. I see glory on each face. Surely the presence of God is in this place. And as we sit in the beauty of this silence, knowing that the Spirit of the Divine indwells this sacred, safe space that we call Mile High Church, and that divine is indwelling each and every one of us,
whether we pay attention to it or not. It is always there, reminding us that love is all there is, because that is what God is. God is love. So everything resonates with that love, no matter what appearances may be. Because God is, each one of us can be a beneficial presence in the world by taking that love out and sharing it if we truly believe in the notion of oneness. That each one of us is connected because each one of us is connected to the divine. How much clearer could that be? As we listen, as we pause, as we spend time knowing that the divine is always moving within each one of us. Because our purpose is to express God in our lives. No matter what it looks like in the world, we say a special prayer of love. We send it out for the floods, for the wars that are going on, all of the suffering. We send our love, knowing that it is the great healing agent. I am so thankful, God, to be constantly reminded of that love and know that this beautiful community that we share here at Mile High and online will step into the world as a beneficial presence of love, kindness, joy, compassion. Thank you, Spirit, for the truth of this prayer, and knowing that I can let this prayer go now into that divine law, and it unfolds perfectly. And so it is.
I'm tired of the guilt that brings me pain. Now is the time for me to let go of the shame, the past behind me. I see anew. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been holding on to, I let go. I surrender. I surrender. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive them. I forgive them. Everything
Our words of inspiration today from Emily Cady. The ultimate aim of every person should be to come into the consciousness of an indwelling God, and then, in all external matters, to affirm deliverance through and by this divine one. There should not be a running to and fro, making human efforts to aid the divine, but a calm, restful, unwavering trust in all wisdom and all power within one, as able to accomplish the thing desired. And from A. Helwa, when we surrender to the love of God, we change the flow of intention and energy behind our actions. We do not act from fear or loss or poverty, but from a place of trust. The concept of surrender is beautifully described in Taoism as Wei Wu Wei, meaning do without doing. When we surrender to God, we are like a grain of sand surrendering to become the mountain, or like a drop of rain surrendering to become the entire ocean.
And the spirit of life calling Mamela, and a voice with the fear of a child answers, oh Mamela. There's no mountain too great. Hear these words and have faith. Oh, have faith. He lives in you. He lives in me. He watches over everything we see.
Mr. Charles Holt. Charles Holt. So good to serve with you again.
My pleasure.
And he's doing some fantastic work with youth around the country. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. And a Mile High Choir, you're sounding good. Sounding good. And the greatest church band ever. Bijou, Josh, Stu, and Rob, Director Rob. Good morning. Gosh, it's great to be back with you all. Thank you, Dr. Michelle, Reverend Josh, and the Ministerial team for inviting me back. I'd have been deeply hurt if you hadn't. But thank God. And we watch every Sunday, by the way, and so we got eyes on you, so behave. It is great to be back. And I had this realization, and Erica pointed it out to me, that it was 22 years ago to the day that I stood over in the Vote Center and announced that Erica and I were very soon to have our first grandchild. Oh, wow. And I did a talk about messages I would give to our grandkids. And then the very next day, Daisy came into our life. And I just had to, as a proud grandparent, show you, here's who we took home. And here she is today. Isn't she beautiful? You other grandparents top that. As I bet you will. It's so good to see what love does. And that's kind of the theme going through, not just today, but it seems like Dr. Michelle's fabulous message of 2 weeks ago, Josh's stunningly beautiful sharing last week, talk about trusting love, our topic. And then Valerie Kaur coming Friday. I'm going to get my 2 cents in. So it's really about this whole thing of love. And I've loved watching so many of your own kids grow up and participating in your lives. It's been such a privilege and a joy. And somebody else I love, I want to come up here now, and that is Dr. Patty. Please come forth. My esteemed colleague of so many decades. God love you, sister. Of course, she's made a decision I'm quite familiar with, which is not easy, and that is to step away from this type of formal ministry, but to see what else happens. But I just want to tell you that I know the depth at which you have served, the consciousness that you have seeded here and in the world through your many students, the gifts you've taken to the reservation, the magnanimous, huge heart that you are. And I remember, of course, we served when I was an associate minister as well, but when I came back here to serve as senior minister, it was you and Dr. Marjorie that were holding down the fort. And you not only made it easy for me to step into that, you kind of kept boundaries on me too, which isn't easy to do. But Patty, I love you, I esteem you, and I hope you all know what a gift she is. God bless you, Dr. Patty. I love you.
To say one thing here. Roger and I will always carry the love of Mile High Church in our hearts. Yes. And we thank you all. Yeah. Always. Thank you.
God bless you, dear one. There's just no words. No words. Except Kabir, a mystic in the 14th century, had these words. He said, "The flute of the infinite is ceaselessly playing, and its sound is love." Throughout the ages, enlightened masters have urged humankind to not only trust but prove the power of the divine energy of love. And chief among them, Jesus. He came forth as the supreme announcer of a love within us all and throughout the cosmos. And he said, you can set all of the other theological laws and codes aside. And he said, just simply do this, but do it well. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul. And love your neighbor as yourself. In my humble estimation, much of institutional Christianity that has followed has simply paid lip service to Jesus' call to this kind of love, very often promoting the idea of an angry God keeping records on us all with consequences that aren't pleasant, but yet loves us. A continual parade of heartless policies and processes, and so much that has increased the divisiveness within the human family. So much so that I sense this is what Anne Lamott was getting at when she declared, you can safely assume you've created God in your own image when it turns out he hates all the same people you do. And yet there is this deep mystic Christianity that we celebrate, that we support, that has remained true to the deep teachings of that great master, and is still promoted by various scholars, theologians, and leaders in certain facets of Christianity. Chief among them is a man I've enjoyed studying with a bit, Richard Rohr, a Franciscan priest down in Albuquerque. Very powerful thinker, very much in alignment with what we're about. And I want to put some words up for you to feast on that he said. The people who know God well, the mystics, the hermits, those who risk everything to find God, always meet a lover, not a dictator. God is never found to be an abusive father or a tyrannical mother, but always a lover who is more than we dared hope for. How different than the account manager that most people seem to worship. God is a lover who receives and forgives everything. And yet, sadly, most of humanity simply equates this love of which we speak as simply a romantic or emotional feeling or experience, rather than a cosmic energy and a healing power that we have access to. And sadly, as we lose track of that aspect of our nature, we fall prey to the lesser psychological aspects of our nature, often called the ego. The ego defends against love, even though the greatest truth of you and me is love. The ego defends against love because the ego is grounded in a sense of inadequacy and unworthiness, which then becomes the ground for the fear and the sense of separation that constantly is exuded from this egoic state of awareness. And so when the ego considers love, it distorts it. Rather than its pure healing energy, it brings these distortions, and our biggest challenge is to discern them and release them in our own expression of this highest state of our being. The defenses, for instance, the walls we build, the masks, the coldness in our lives, the demands that we sometimes place, the strings we attach to our love or to love itself. And then the dependencies, the clinging that often suffocates a relationship. We bring all of this into this sacred thing called love, and our great job is to release those distortions and then bring forth a greater mindfulness. Mindfulness that in every transaction and every interaction, virtually every experience of our lives, we are choosing. And we are choosing either fear or love. And to also be mindful of the many masks that fear wears, the masks of resistance, alibis and excuses, avoidance, practicalities, got to be practical, and stubbornness. So many masks fear wears. And yet all the while, something within us awaits the time when we step beyond the ways we defend and protect our lives, and seek to let the greatness of our essence guide us and empower us. We need it so fully. You see, God is love, and they that dwell in love dwell in God and God in them. And the sacred core of your being is the God within. Therefore, the truth to remember is that you are love. What you are is love. What I am is love. And we can begin to explore and stand for and trust the greater dimension of our being, which is love. To notice when the ego jumps in, because it seldom packs its bags and leaves when we decide to be about our spiritual business. But we can expand beyond that. We can transcend that and create the opening through which love works and serves in our life. Now, this applies to virtually every area of our life, but I want to share some of them in particular that are really important ones for trusting love. And the first of them is when you have to decide. When you have to decide, trust love. Trust love. The more we practice living with an open heart and attuning ourselves, rescuing ourselves from the pitfalls of fear and attuning to the love of our nature, the more the voice of love, the still small voice, the voice of guidance will rise up more fully and regularly within us. It's powerful and important to listen to that voice, especially when we find ourselves at turning points in our life or crossroads. It's very important to trust love, because very often the voice of guidance will challenge us, and we'll experience that the head and the ego dive in to say, oh yeah, but, that not now. Oh yeah, but that can't be. There's this reason and that reason. And all the while, there's that something within that knows. And so very often, it seems easier and safer to brush it aside. I experienced this in 2017 when in my meditations I became troubled with the voice saying it's time to shift out of what you've been doing for all these many years. And it's time to enter into a different kind of ministry. It's time to shift and explore and give yourself room for something else to develop and grow within you. And that was one of the most difficult decisions of my life. And I know it has been difficult for you, Dr. Patty, and probably is equally difficult for Dr. Raz, Reverend Barry, and so many of my colleagues and people who served well. But there comes a time. And so when you have to decide, what do you listen to? Where is the leadership? Is it here, in the head, or here? Here. Oh, there may be practicalities to consider, but as heart math and other research efforts are showing, your greatest power and wisdom is your heart, not your head. And our lives begin to take the upward path when we listen to the heart. May create great changes, and I referenced Dr. Michelle's outstanding message of 2 weeks ago. Listen to it again about change. And yet when we trust love, then life takes us truly forward. And so when you have decisions, ask this question: what is love's leading here? What is love's leading? What is my heart's leading in this? And go that way. Next, trust love when things look the worst. Trust love then. Now that's quite often when it's most tempting to abandon love and enter into some other strategy, whether it's aggressiveness or retreat or panic, whatever the case may be. When things look worst, not trusting love causes us to shut down from healing energies that are available nonetheless. And when we shut down from those healing energies, we also move ourselves out of the flow of what we in this teaching call divine right action. That intentionality within the spiritual universe to always lead us into our highest and best if we'll allow it. If we will allow it. When things look worst, it's time to bring that love energy to bear upon our choices, of course, but also upon our very countenance, upon the energies, and upon our willingness to say yes to something greater than appearances and circumstances in our midst. I think of the parade of experiences I've been so privileged to have as I've walked side by side with so many of you in life. That's what we ministers get to do as we grow our own lives. We get to participate in the journey that you all bring. And I thought of so many this week in preparation for this. I thought of when I rushed to a hospital and joined a young couple who was having their second baby, not expected to live, in an incubator, blue, the respiratory system not working, and how we joined hands around that beautiful baby. And we just acknowledged that we were afraid, but we turned to something greater than that. And we just loved that baby and accepted love in the midst of us and in that situation. And we ended that prayer, and about an hour later, her respiratory system kicked in. And she was fine. I was privileged to then officiate at her wedding a number of years later. But it didn't look great. But we stood in that love. And sometimes the most difficult thing to do is to stand in love amidst our losses in this life. And yet still to trust love. I'm thinking of so many I've worked with, especially one lady who, she and her husband had a relationship of many, many decades. And then all of a sudden, he collapsed and was gone. And the deep grieving, she did good grieving. She embraced her feelings and she grieved. And the other good thing she did was she dived into this teaching even more fully than she had. Because it's here for us, gang. And she dived into it and she applied it to her situation. And she took classes and she continued her growth such that, and she kept her heart open. That's the biggest thing. A couple of years later, about 2.5 years later, another partner walked into her life. And they joined hands and moved into another chapter. Out of the agony of loss, still she trusted love and let it continue to bless her. Her husband had his healing by means of his passing. And sometimes that's when we have to trust that love that has birthed you and me, knows how to take us forward, even when we do release this physical garment. Trust love. Trust love and let it support you. Erica and I have created our own unique little kind of prayer form. We call it the even though prayer form, and it's pretty much affirmative prayer as you know it, and it's taught here. But what we want to do is we want to not deny our natural feelings. And many people in our teaching feel guilty that they ever are afraid, or they ever grieve, or they're ever down, or discouraged. And while we don't want to stay stuck in those arenas, there's nothing wrong with our humanness, that we have those feelings. But we also have access to the more. So we call this the even though prayer. And what we would pray is, even though I'm afraid in this moment, or even though my heart aches in this moment, or even though I don't know what to do, what I know is the love and the light of my true self knows. And I stand for this love. I invite this love. I align with this love. I live in this love. And I bless this person in this love, or this situation in this love. And what that does is it makes us feel like we have included what's natural to us without fighting it, which just gives it more energy. And we've expanded into that something greater. You might find that when things look worst, pray in that way. Also, when you're guided to help, trust love. You know, there are needs swirling around all of us. You can't escape that. And no one of us can meet and supply every one of the needs that shout at us in the world as we encounter it. And yet, what we can do is listen to that guiding light, that voice of love within us that will alert us when we really can be of service in a certain situation, that says, help this one, or do this thing, do this. And I encourage you to follow it, because oftentimes that's when the miracles, that's when the transformations can occur. When somebody's alert enough and trusts love enough to not sweep away these opportunities. It was reported in the Huffington Post the story about Justice Uwayesu. In 1994, he lost his father and mother in execution. They were executed amidst the Rwandan genocide. And he was a young boy at that time. By the time he was 8, he had wandered nearly 100 miles and ended up in the garbage dump for the city of Kigali, which was the capital of Rwanda. And amid the stench, he ate only from the garbage, and he slept in a stripped-down car. Here's a picture of him at the time. Justice Uwayesu. On one Sunday, a visitor from the United States named Claire Effiong, she was traveling there in a taxi, and she felt she'd been guided to find a way to make a difference there, somehow. And so she was in this taxi, and there she saw that dump, and she saw the children scavenging there. And she said, "Stop," to the taxi driver, and he did. And then through an interpreter, she started a conversation with some of the children. And eventually she asked them what they wanted. And of course, many answered money or clothes. Then little Justice said, "I want to go to school." That so touched her that she swept him up, put him in the taxi, took him to some friends where he could get medical attention, nourishment, and rest. And then before leaving, she said to her friends, "I will support the education of this boy. If you'll support him here, I'll support him. I'll pay for all the school fees, the materials, the uniforms, the shoes, whatever." Her friends agreed. And from the very beginning, Justice excelled. He learned 5 languages. He became brilliant in chemistry and math. And later on, he was selected to be a part of a Rwandan scholar program that prepared young people there to apply for international scholarships. And he did apply, and he was granted entrance into Harvard. And he graduated in 2018. Here's a picture of him today, by the way. Justice USC. And he's paying it forward now. He's created 7 United Rwandan Youth Network, and he's a part of uplifting Rwandan youth out of the poverty that many experience. And I guess the question that haunts me, and I offer to all of you, is would you know when to tell the taxi driver, "Stop"? Would your heart be heard enough? Yeah. When you're guided to help, trust love. One more. When the divisiveness seems overwhelming, trust love, as it does now in our country and in our world. That there's always a higher truth, and it calls us to be its instruments, to be its expression. There are always ways through the heart for breakthrough. I want to close with a very favorite reading. But first I want to tell you about some research. And this research was pointed out by Mark Nepo. And Mark reports the research that if you take 2 live cells from the heart, 2 heart cells from different people, and you place them in a petri dish, eventually they will start beating together. They'll develop a common beat. And Mark writes, there is in the very nature of life itself some essential joining force. This force is what makes compassion possible, even probable. For if 2 cells can find the common pulse beneath everything, how much more can full hearts feel when all the excuses fall away? It feels incredibly uplifting that without even knowing each other, there exists a common beat between all hearts, just waiting to be felt. A common beat between all hearts, just waiting to be felt. So Robert Fulghum, a favorite author of mine, and he's been here a long time ago, we had him here. He wrote about a wedding that could have gotten very contentious. It was between a lovely young Jewish girl of Polish descent from Brooklyn and a tall, handsome Irish Catholic boy from Detroit. The bride's family included a rabbi and a cantor, and the groom's family boasted a few priests and a nun. But he writes, but Ms. Brooklyn and Mr. Detroit were 21 years old and overwhelmed with love. And love, they were quite certain, could find a way. So they decided not to have a priest or a rabbi officiate, but to find an open-minded minister like Fulgham, which they did. And then their wedding list grew and grew until they decided they were just going to have to invite their entire families. So each one of them on their own went to their families and shared the news of their impending weddings. And they each heard 4 words quite often. You're marrying a what? And both families initially refused to attend the wedding. So Fulgham writes, they spent a lot of time in my office. The bride bawled, the groom swore, but the marriage was meant to be, for the couple had an invisible shield, love, and secret weapons, a sense of humor, light hearts. Plus, they came from tough, resilient folks who had made it the hard way and had always told their kids not to back off when they believed in something. The kids were doing exactly what their parents had taught them to do. The tiebreaker in this standoff was the grandmother of the groom. By God, if her only grandson was getting married, even to a you-know-what, she was going to be there. Well, that created a domino effect. And then soon everybody on the family, both families, was going to attend. And he writes, the wedding began to shape up like a grudge match between Notre Dame and Jerusalem Tech. The grandfather rabbi begged to be allowed to say a traditional blessing in Hebrew at the end of the service. When the Irish Catholics got wind of this, nothing would do but to have the grandmother, who had once performed in light opera, sing Ave Maria. One side wanted incense burned, and the other wanted to have some wine in the ceremony and then break the goblet. The bride and groom could do little but nod their heads, smile, and say, whatever. So the wedding day arrived, and the families dug in on either side of the aisle. But the love was so palpable in this couple. They shared their vows so beautifully and meaningfully, and then it happened. Then it happened. The bride began to weep almost uncontrollably, and the groom took her in his arms and started sobbing too. Well, the whole church, Fulgham writes, was awash in tears. He said, I've seen wet weddings before, but this was a communal bath. The whole thing ground to a halt while everybody had a good cry, myself included. Then 73-year-old grandma sang Ave Maria with incredible passion, magnificently. And she got a standing ovation from the Brooklyn Jews. Then grandfather rabbi laid a blessing on the couple that was equally incredible, and he got a standing ovation from the Irish Catholics. Then there was the reception and a polka band, and the couple danced. Grandfather rabbi asked grandmother opera to dance, and everyone roared and joined in. So Fulgham concludes, in the end, the bride and groom had been right. Love is more powerful than prejudice. When love is allowed in, it prevails over just about anything. An epilogue. A year later, close to the couple's first anniversary, I received a postcard mailed from a cruise ship in the Caribbean. From the bride and groom, I assumed. But no, it was from the parents of the bride and groom who've become great friends and now love to travel together. I love that story. It's delightful, it's poignant, and I suggest it's important. Very important right now that we remember that there is a common beat that exists between all hearts, just waiting to be felt. So, beloved ones, now's the time for us to trust love. Let's not talk a good game about it, not let the ego distort it, but to trust love when you have to decide. Trust love when things look the worst. Trust love when you're guided to help. Oh, and trust love when the divisiveness seems overwhelming. Trust the greater power. It's in you. A great affirmation to call you to this is sacred love, flow through me now. Sacred love, higher love, flow through me now. You'll be blessed when you do. Let's have a prayer. Practitioners, if you choose to stand and join me. There's only one power, one presence, one universal energy, one creative source. And that energy is love. The very essence of the divine, pouring itself forth into creative expression throughout the cosmos, as the cosmos. And in this love, in this light, we live, move, and have our being. Sense the roots of your soul deep within the love of God. Sense that love imagines you, supports you, has brought you forth to have life and have it in all its fullness, and to be its instrument for the only ultimate power, love. Breathe deep, and even though at times you feel smaller or inconsequential against all that's going on, even though fear makes regular appearances, even though limitations seem so vast, yet we know and we celebrate that love abides, that the creative consciousness of God is both within and through us, and we access the good of God, the fountain of inspiration and possibility, through hearts open in love. So we throw open our hearts to the truth of our being, to the reality of the power that uses us when we allow it. And we speak our word knowing that peace is prevailing upon this planet no matter what goes on. If there's somebody you care about that you're concerned about, bring their image, their awareness into your mind. And join me in affirming that the light of God is their being. They are right now in the presence and the reality of love. That love infuses their body, radiates into their circumstances, surely guides them into their highest and best. And we bless them in love. We know and stand for the truth in them, as we do for our own selves. No matter what we're facing, what's going on, we celebrate the reality of the presence of the living Spirit within and as that which we are. And we give thanks for this. And we celebrate our ancestors who have gone before us, who have taken the great journey we'll all at some point take. And we just give thanks for the love that carries them forward as it will us. We give thanks for the love that is and always shall be, worlds without end. How grateful we are. We release this consciousness into its inevitable unfoldment with great confidence and joy, letting it be and become. And so it is, sealed in truth. Amen.
I'm tired of the guilt that brings me pain. Now is the time for me to let go of the shame, the past behind me. I see anew. I'm ready for my change. I'm ready for my change. I forgive me. I forgive me. Everything that I've been
Thank you, Charles. So beautiful. It's time for a joyous celebration of love right now. For we're so blessed in this incredible ministry, and we're so blessed to receive these pearls of great price throughout the week, through the classes, through the programs, through what's going on for our youth, through so many beautiful things going on here. What a joy it is to supply this church. And in the giving, we're immediately receiving. Everything you give with love is given right back to you immediately. You're in the experience of your own blessed expression. So have fun with this. I see that we still have baskets around. That's good to see. And there are many other ways that people have devised now to give, and I don't understand some of them. But I know that a lot of you use them well, and so have fun with that. And let your hearts guide you here greatly, this precious place. Let's hold that gift or tithe in our hand or in our hearts, and let's declare together, divine love as me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I circulate. And so it is.
Good morning, evening, friends. Here's your friendly announcer. I have serious news to pass on to everybody. What I'm about to say could mean the world's disaster, could change your joy and laughter to tears and pain. Is that love's in need of love today? Don't delay, send yours in right away. Hate's going round, breaking many hearts. Stop it, please, before it's gone too far. Yeah, yeah. The force of evil plans to make you his possession, and it will if we let it destroy everybody. We all must take precautionary measures. If love and peace you treasure, then you'll hear me when I say, don't you know that love's in need of love today? Look around, you don't delay. Send yours in right away. Send yours in right away. Oh, hey, it's going around, breaking many hearts.
Thank you, Charles. Charles has some books that he's written at the table at the South End. We really encourage you to stop by and take advantage of he will be at the table also, so there's another great gift you'll get. I am here at the end of the month to remind you of our guests. Every week we acknowledge them. At the end of the month, what we ask is to acknowledge those of you who are new in the room and those of you who are new in the room who have just started in the month of September. So if you're here as a new person, if you'd either raise your hand or stand, we have an affirmation card that our ministers have created, and this is a gift that you will only get if you stand up or you raise your hand. How's that? Otherwise, you can go to our Welcome Center and get lots of great information on Mile High Church. So anybody want to, there's somebody way in the back there too, I see. Over here. See? I love it. It's guessing games. I also want to acknowledge our practitioners who came down front. That wonderful message that Dr. Roger gave on love. I know lots are struggling with that now. I encourage you to come down and get a 2-minute prayer from one of our beautiful practitioners. And now Dr. Michelle has a couple announcements.
Thank you, Reverend Jackie. Thank you, Dr. Roger. Beautiful, beautiful, powerful message today. Amazing. And I want to tell you about a couple things. In August of 2026, next year, there's going to be a total eclipse of the sun. It's the last one for 42 years. And about 70 of us Mile Highers are going to be on a cruise. And on the day of the eclipse, we will be in Iceland experiencing it together. And if you'd like to join us, we are in the final steps. Almost all the cabins are getting sold out, but we've got a special deal this week that gives you some shipboard credits and some stuff with deposits. And if you're interested, I will be at the event center right out that way after service, and I'll have some flyers and information for you, and I'd love to talk with you. And again, Dr. Roger mentioned that Valerie Kaur will be with us this Friday evening. We are so excited to have her here. Her message on love is superb and profound, and we'll continue this conversation that Dr. Roger has started with us. And so we encourage you to get your tickets to either be in the room or watch us online. And you know what? We are all ambassadors of Mile High Church. I bet you've got someone in your life who is struggling to fall into that space of love right now. So please spread the word about our event Friday night, 7 p.m. right here in the sanctuary. So we'll see you all then. Turn it back over to you for the benediction.
And by the way, don't miss that cruise. That's a phenomenal thing. Boy, that's incredible. Before we stand, I'm honored and privileged to be the volunteer chair of the Mile High Church Foundation, which is preparing the financial resources for the long-term thriving of Mile High Church. And we have a number of individuals who have joined the Nautilus Society within the foundation. They have simply decided that they are going to prepare their estates to include in some way Mile High Church. And we're very, very grateful to you. And we have a brunch for you over in the community center when we're done here. But I would just like you to stand if you're presently a member of the Nautilus Society. Thank you. Thank you. All right, now let's all stand and join them. So we go forth in the high awareness that we are ambassadors and emissaries of the greatest power in the universe, love, and that it is shining forth and guiding us this day and every day, now and always. And so we let it be, and so it is. Amen.